Alright, so in this video, I wanted to go over a lot of different team compositions and overall the best, some more free to play, some more pay to win. I just explained how exactly they work. I mean, at this point in time, I've gotten a good feel for the units I want to get a good feel for, and besides that, I've heard a lot of things about certain other units and just checked for certain team compositions that work. Overall though, like, I mean, my power is looking very good. My combat power is looking very, very good. This is like my main team. But Kaido's a bit weak because I haven't really also his memory is level 1 right now. I definitely need to work on that. But hey, it is what it is for this one. So I've been pumping out a lot of stuff. Just make sure to hit that like button. And also do subscribe if you are new because I do plan on doing more while also keeping up Black Clover mobile content. So let's start explaining. Let us start explaining what exactly these teams are, what they do, and all that good stuff. So this one is basically just your default team. Okay, this could work in a lot of content. This has worked in the main event. It's worked in story. It has worked in also the bosses. Okay, now why does it work? Well, we got our two big buffers, and as long as they don't die, you are usually fine. Now, for example, this is not supposed to be that. Now, what you would usually put here is this one. So like a damage reduction, and then he's got an ult increase. So basically, you got damage increase memories. Now, I'm not going to talk about the memories for each one, but just to explain my main team, is you got damage increase memories, then you got damage reduction, then he's going to give ult quicker to the whole team. And then if someone dies, Kaido comes in, increases Nobara's damage while also making sure she doesn't take damage for 2 turns, okay? And then he's going to increase damage with the memory, right? So it's going to be a very well-functioning team because Nobara is going to do single target good damage. And then we've got Gojo here, who is going to be just nuking AoE while also doing really good single target damage just because his stats are just inflated as hell. Okay, and I'm very lucky to have 4 dupes in my Gojo. Like, it's insane. I don't know how we got this far, but we got 4 dupes in the Gojo. I've just been getting very lucky. That's all I could say. Like, my luck for Gojo is just impeccable. I hope it continues in the future. So this team works in like a lot of content for right now. Gojo is just very good for his ult. If you want to upgrade his ult, that's great. Go for Nobara's ult, that's great. Nobara could be switched in by a lot of DPSs. Literally just anyone. So like Yuji works. Besides that, like we'll talk about some other ones, but like Yuji, you can't even put Nanami, which is unfortunate. If you have Megumi, go for him. Maki could work. I'm not a big fan of Maki, right? So this is team number 1. Now team number 2, this is it. This is a more free to play friendly team, all right, and one that I've already mentioned in a video, technically because I made a video for Mechamaru, but this is a very good team because it has double AoEs, right? So double AoE ults, by the way. So basically how it usually works with this team is you're gonna go crazy with them in the front, and then afterwards you're gonna have Gojo ult first and then Mechamaru ult second, unless you want Mechamaru to kill the units to get his ult quicker, then go ahead with that. Mechamaru ulting first is usually better, but sometimes you might do the opposite. But having 2 AoE ults is great, but then Mechamaru also has a skill 3 AoE. So he's got double AoE, and then Gojo has an AoE. So this is a very AoE team, right? Very AoE team. So versus, or when you're like green type advantage, this team works tremendously well. Now, by the way, for the supports like Yaga, Nanami, for example, like Nanami could be Momo. It could even be Hell. I mean, there's not really that many. Like, you could put Inumaki. You could also put Yuki in the front and then someone else in the back, whoever you want, right? That's kind of something I want to mention. Like, the supports, there's a couple that you could switch between. As long as you get, like, damage increases from them, then you're fine, right? So, it's really, like, those two mainly. Then there's also Kaido. And then besides that, like, you could maybe use Inumaki or Momo. Those are, like, the 5, right? Those are the 5, essentially. But this one's very free. Because it's only one SSR that most people have, then the others are SRs, okay? Now, you could switch Nanami for whoever you want, and you could switch Yaga for whoever you want. It could be Nanami, but I feel like Kaido's a need, because the attack immunity on Mechamaru seems very important, because I feel like he dies a lot for me. So, you know, having Kaido there to give the immunity would be great. And I'm talking about both Kaidos, Rare or SR for this team, by the way. Like, either supports work, but for this team in specific, I'd rather SR Kaido, just saying. Now then, this team, okay, this is a team that is going to be very, like, boss heavy, okay? Now, it's going to be pretty hard to keep the people alive. It's going to take a lot of RNG, all right? But if you get the RNG in your favor and it attacks either Yaga or Gojo, then you'll be able to go crazy. So these two together are pretty good, okay? So for example, like, Yuji's able to give himself crit rate, and then also Black Flash rate increase for 3 turns while increasing ult gauge. This is gonna lower crit resist on the enemy, and then this guarantees Black Flash. Okay, so that's gonna be very good. Now he's got this, which is cool, I guess, but it's mainly when you put it next to Nanami, who's also gonna be increasing his own crit rate and break damage, while also while doing pretty good damage on the ult, and it's an AoE, right? It's an AoE, which is really good because it does a lot of damage for how much it is. Like, it's doing good damage. And then even here, right? So, like, he's able to do good stuff. And then at turn 9, he's going to be doing even more damage for a little bit, getting ult gauge. So he's, like, going to get a little, like, boost. So he's going to be able, he's going to want, essentially, to also crit. And also, like, hopefully Black Flash. I don't think he's going to have, like, the best chance, if I remember correctly. Not as much, like, the future enemies, yes. I usually get them mixed up. But Yuji being able to Black Flash guaranteed here, while also being able to get a crit, right, is going to be very good. And pair that with Nanami, there'll be a good green combo where Gojo's just able to be there no matter what. In the back, no bars here because, like, for a full DPS team, it works. And remember, we're going to get 2 more SSR character tickets, so you might be able to run this team for all you know. But you can also put a support in the back, right? If you want to put Momo, or if you want to put Yuki, or if you want to put Inumaki, then that works just fine, all right? Now then, next one. This one's actually pretty fun. I think this one is actually really, really fun. So you got your supports, and then you got Toto. Now, what is Toto here for? This. He gives the best friend support, which is going to give 15% physical technique increase to self and one ally behind them for 3 times 3 turns. Great. And he's going to give best friend to that ally for 3 turns. What does it do? When taking a single target attack, the ally in the status has a 70% chance to apply disruption to the enemy for 3 turns and deals melee attack to the enemy equal to 70% of physical technique every single time, right? Which is pretty good. It's a nice little extra counter, which you could definitely take. Okay, we love to see it. Then afterwards, he's also, what's it called? Not this one, cool, I guess, but it's the ult that increases crit rate to Yuji also, right? So it's gonna be increasing his crit rate, but also Yuji 1 time, but it's still pretty good, right? If you time it, you could definitely do good. Especially, for example, the best way to do this is use the ults at the same time. So he ults, and then Yuji ults, and then Yuji's gonna do crazy damage, right? So Toto himself could do good damage. Like, look at this. It's a 1500 ult at level 1. It goes to a 3000 ult at max level, so it's very good. And then with Yuji, who increases his own crit rate while having more crit rate increase, then Black Flash rate increases, right? And then he ult gauge increases, so his ult's going to be even crazier. These 2 together will work very, very well. And I put Inumaki in the back in case one of these guys die. Now, you could also put Inumaki in the front, SSR Inumaki, so that Toto doesn't die, for example. But keeping Inumaki in the back is fine. Any support here works, but I would say this should be a support, because usually you'd want these 2 to live. So maybe you could put Yuki, but the thing is with Yuki is that he gives curse damage increase, where these 2 are taijutsu, right? So that is the main thing, right? That is the main thing. So next up, we got a kind of a mono green, essentially, right? So it's mono green, but with Shoko, and then Gojo's just there menacingly, all right? Carrying the CP also, because he's at 7.3. But anyway, so how it works is basically it's self-sustained also. Kaido is able to keep Yuji alive, then Shoko heals, Momo stuns, and then Yuji does damage, right? So this is basically how it's going to be used. Yuji does his damage. You can also put Nanami, I guess, but Nanami or Yuji works here, right? I guess Mekamaru, like any green DPS, but basically he's going to support, she's going to support, she's going to, well, give heals. I don't even know, does she give damage? So yeah, she heals, puts crit resist decrease. Okay, that works pretty well with Yuji especially. But yeah, Yuji's going to be able to do some crits and do some good stuff, and then if Yuji dies, well then Gojo comes in, or if someone else dies. And then it's better to have Gojo later on, and this is a sustain team, which is why I think Gojo in the back would work pretty well, right? Because if he's there in the later phases for 7 turns while being in a sustain team, the rest of the team lives, then you'll be safe, right? I feel like you'll be safe in that matter. And then she stuns, she heals, he gives attack immunity, so Yuji literally cannot die. So I think that it works pretty well together, pretty toxic, and this could be Yuta in the future, I guess, right? Now next up, this one. So this is basically a full nuking team for Gojo, essentially. So basically damage increase, right? Damage increase we already know, but then Yuki also is going to be giving curse technique. Bro, this is insane. AoE curse technique of 64%, right? 64%. But that goes up very high to like 120%. So if you use that with Gojo, like that's gonna like double the damage even further. And if you need like an AoE nuke, for example, or even just a nuke with Gojo, like this could work, right? Gojo's gonna guaranteed stay alive, of course, and then you use this with this memory, and then GG, right? You put this on too, GG, right? But but you have to stay alive. But if you're able to, this could work. And then Nobara's just there. This could be anyone. I would say like Inumaki could work, or Momo, right? If you need another damage support, then Momo could definitely work. So these are some teams I concocted up that I think could be very helpful for you guys. But let me know down below if you have any of these teams or if you're using any of these teams. But I mean, hey, these are some teams that I think you should try out, right? I tried to include some different SSRs. Like right now, we're using, well, there's Gojo. Okay, Gojo is one. Yuji Nanami. So 4, 5, 6 SSRs. 6 SSRs is not bad because the rest of the SSRs are not really that crazy. Panda is almost impossible to use, and then it's Megumi and Maki right now. Those are like the 3 SSRs I did not use. So hey, you got a good 6 out of 9. Ha, that's funny number. But yeah, that's basically it for now. I mean, I'm gonna, if you want me to update this in the future, let me know. But for now, that's essentially gonna be it now. I just want to show my Gojo real quick. Like Dupe 4, bro was cooking. Like 70k HP is insane. Insane. But even Nobara, like, I'm very happy because Gojo's stats are inflated and he's at max 4 dupes, I guess. So, but you know, it does make sense, right? His HP is just already like double most people. But then Nobara herself is looking very good too. So we love to see it. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and I hope this one helped you. Bye bye.